Well, I mean, in my case, if I forget my glasses, I don't really know which end is up. So, what can I tell you? Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the U.S. Open tees off. The U.S. men get a draw with Brazil, and PK Subban joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with the Boston Celtics continuing unbeaten on the road in these playoffs and beating Dallas last night 106-99 after almost blowing a 21-point lead in the fourth quarter. The Celtics are now up 3-0, and history says they will win the title. Luka Doncic fouled out with 4 minutes to go after picking up his fourth separate foul in the fourth quarter and expressed disgust with the officiating. Wilbon, is Luka right to blame the officials?
No. And he tried to walk it back to some degree by blaming himself, saying, guys, I got to be better than that, later in the day. I don't want to hear that. As a matter of fact, look, Luka Doncic is easily capable of being a future MVP in this league. Luka Doncic is capable of being an all-time great in this league, global great. He's that talented. But he's got a flaw right now, which is a fatal flaw. He can't go 2 possessions without looking over at the officials, without giving it this, without just making a nuisance of himself. And it hurts him. It hurts his team. He's going to have to get over this. And he'd gotten better, and I'm told that was a product largely of his coach, Jason Kidd, just saying, this has got to stop. But it doesn't stop. It goes on. And he was great at times last night, and Kyrie was great last night through most of the game, though he had to shoulder it by himself late because Luka wasn't there. What are you trying to do, take a charge when you're not a good defensive player at that space in the floor when you got 5 fouls? Take some blame, but nobody's accountable these days. It was a disappointing game last night, Tony. I thought Dallas would win. You were right. You had this series right. I had it wrong. And it's okay. Yep. Luka and his group now, Kyrie already knows the disappointment. Luka will know the sting of losing in the finals, and he will come back, I hope, better. And he will come back without this as his face all the time.
So I'm going to be very brief about Luka. Every foul that I saw was a legitimate foul. There was a lot of contact. Luka does whine about fouls a lot. I would say if you've got 4 fouls or 5 fouls, why are you 25 feet away from the basket initiating contact? What are you going to do?
Yes.
And I'm glad you set the record straight. You picked Dallas to win the series, and you said it would go at least 6. I picked Boston, and I said I would pick Boston without any hesitation. Boston has been better in every single way in the series, including coaching. The other day, everybody started screaming that Jason Kidd had to put in Tim Hardaway Jr. You were one of the screamers as well. He played 19 minutes last night. He went 0 for 5. He produced no points whatsoever. Boston won Game 1 with a substitute leading the way, Porzingis. They won Game 2 with an unknown scorer, Jrue Holiday, leading the way. And they finally won Game 3 with their stars leading the way. And by comparison, Mike, I believe that the Dallas Stars failed. I'm going to take a few more seconds here.
Mavericks.
The Dallas guys... Mavericks, not the Stars. The Dallas Stars of that team, the Mavericks Stars. They scored 1 more point than Tatum and Brown. But Tatum and Brown had a higher shooting percentage. They out-rebounded them 14-9. They out-assisted them 13-8, and they're not even guards. And there's a great statistic on Doncic. Through the first 3 quarters of all 3 games, he has 81 points, which is tremendous. It's tremendous. In the fourth quarters, he has a total of 8, and he shot 3 for 15.
Done.
Mike, the Celtics have not lost since May 9th. It's June 13th. They're 15-2, 10-0, 7-0 on the record.
Maybe
I don't know if they're a great team, Mike. History will judge. But they're having a great team's playoff.
And by the way, let me just push back real quickly on Hardaway. If you don't use him for forever, and then you throw him out there last night after some DNPs, what are we talking about? We went through this with Karl Anthony Towns to a different extent.
Well, that's coaching.
He's the only guy you got. You just said rightfully so, or you at least told me off camera. You got, even if you had the best 2 people on the floor in a Dallas
team has the best 8.
Okay, so if that's the case, Tim Hardaway's got to help you. He's the only guy the Hardy kid could help. He's the only guy that can hit a shot. You don't have anybody else, and Luka's dead in the fourth quarter, probably from doing this, probably from that. Let's move to the first round of the United States Open at Pinehurst. Number 2 at Pinehurst. of course, in progress still. Among the morning players, Patrick Cantlay took the early lead with a 5-under-65. Tony Finau finished 2 under. Brooks Koepka, Colin Morikawa were even on the day. And Tiger Woods, y'all, started with a birdie but finished +4. Tone, what did you see that matters?
I saw all of it. I got up early. I was on it at 7:15. Yeah. Tiger Woods started. His first hole was number 10, a par 5. He birdied it. He was -1. He was literally on top of the leaderboard. And that was the highlight for him, except for a birdie on the other par 5. He'd made some really great par putts, but they were of such a distance because he wasn't close enough to the hole, and he finished -4. I will say this about Cantlay. Every time, other than Cantlay, every time you saw the ball, it was rolling off the green in some way. For Cantlay to go 5 under, Goldberg to go 4 under, that's tremendous. They're not going to do that 4 different times. Cantlay only took 23 putts in 18 holes. He really had a great round. Your 2 guys, Finau and Morikawa. Morikawa out of the sand on 17 and a really long birdie putt on 18. I understand it's going on now, but when we started to talk about this, Rory McIlroy was having a pretty good day in an amazingly impossible group. Here's what I'm going to say, Mike. I played that course. I really like the course. It's got sand and wiregrass and bushes and schmutz all over, and if you land in it, it is tough to get out with the shot that you want, and the greens are crowned, so if you roll over, it's a longer shot than you ever imagined. The course is the star today.
Yeah, Tony, I'm trying to get into the course, and you have tried to convince me of this because I've asked you other times. When you were at Pinehurst, Tony, how do you like it? You love it. And I'm looking at it thinking, if I want to see balls roll off a hill, I'll just watch you and me play. I don't need to see that at the U.S. Open, and I get it. I love the Open. I got up. You got up at 7, whatever. That's an hour earlier here in Dallas, Texas. So I was up at 6, whatever. Look, the Tiger thing, I don't want to go down that road because you can't be a part-timer in anything and really contend. It's not sustainable. So it's great to see him out there, but that is of no consequence. You know how much I love Morikawa and Finau and Matty Fitz. Yep. I'm rooting for the same 3 guys I root for every week, and 2 of those guys are playing pretty well, and Matty Fitz is still in there swinging. So, but the course, Tony, the crowned greens, like, now, so my brother Don has given me for Christmas. You know what he gave me for Christmas? A trip to Pinehurst. You know what I'm going to tell Don at the end of the weekend? I'm going to exchange that for some socks. Because I don't think I want to go there and just putt back and forth. What are we doing?
I'm going to call Don. I'll play with Don. I love the joint. I'll play with Don. The United States men's national soccer team tied Brazil last night 1-1 in a game played in Orlando. This comes on the heels of the team's 5-1 embarrassing loss to Colombia last week in Washington, which got everyone bent out of shape. The U.S. is playing in a big tournament, Copa America, which starts in 10 days. Wilbon, you are a big soccer fan. You actually go to European soccer games.
Yes.
Does this draw with Brazil calm our concerns?
I mean, largely. I mean, the game with Brazil, given what's coming up, the tournament coming up, and playing with these South American teams coming up, you needed to have a better showing than giving up 5 goals like we did to Colombia. You had to be better than that. They were better than that. And so I read Berhalter's comments, and I largely agree with him. It does to an extent. They've still got to get better. Tony, I'm interested. I am actually interested. Just like you're trying to convince me about Pinehurst number 2, I'm trying to convince you. Get rid the rest of the world and watch some important soccer games, particularly in big tournaments, international tournaments on a grand scale. Come on now.
Yeah, I understand. I'm the worst guy to talk to about this because if you talk to me about the pitch, I assume you're talking about baseball. But I don't necessarily understand how these so-called friendlies have anything to do with a real tournament. Copa America is a real tournament, right? It is to this hemisphere what the Euros are in Europe. And the play is going to be keener at that point. So I don't know that anything that happens before then really matters. And I don't think Brazil cares at all about playing this game last night. If I have this correct, we are in a group with Uruguay, and Panama and Bolivia. Bolivia's ranked 85th, Panama 45th, Uruguay's ranked 15th, and we're ranked 11th. So shouldn't we win? Shouldn't we come out? The Stanley Cup Final shifts to Edmonton tonight with the Panthers up 2-0 over the Oilers. Coming to us via FaceTime from his hotel bathroom in Edmonton is our great friend ESPN hockey analyst PK Subban, who appears to have stolen a shirt from Robin Hood in Sherwood Forest. I love that look. Let's get to the crux of the matter, PK. The Oilers have been averaging 3.5 goals per game throughout the entire playoffs. They have 1 goal in 2 games. What are the Panthers doing to them?
No holes, Tony. Wilbon, no holes. There's no holes in a championship team. You see the Boston Celtics doing it in the NBA. It's the same thing for the Florida Panthers. I've already pegged them as the best defensive team in hockey, and I believe when it's all said and done, they'll be the best team in hockey. They have no holes. Once you get through Barkov, Sam Bennett up the middle, and then you get through Gustav Forsling, who's the best defensive defenseman right now in the game, you still got to beat Sergei Bobrovsky, who's the front runner for the Conn Smythe. They got 0 holes, but Edmonton's going to have to find a way to get it done. But right now, it's all about the Florida Panthers and the where they're playing. They're a championship team.
PK, I think some of these chances, there was a swirl of activity by Edmonton to start game 1, but the chances just seem kind of soft. Isn't there anything Edmonton can do to disengage Bobrovsky, to throw him off, to distract him, just to get on his nerves?
Wilbon, they got to get in his kitchen. They got to get in his kitchen. They're not doing enough to rattle him. You know what get in his kitchen means? When Mama Subban's making chocolate chip pancakes and her Jamaican jerk chicken in the kitchen and I stick my hand in there, she smacks my hand and says, "Get out of the kitchen." Well, that's what I'm saying. Sergei Bobrovsky, he ain't going to like it. Get in his kitchen. No, I'm serious. They got to make it difficult on him. He's got to have to make second and third saves. Right now, it's one and done. It's not hard enough. They're not making it hard enough on Sergei Bobrovsky as far as I'm concerned. He takes away the lower part of the net. They got to get in front of him, and they got to stir it up a little bit.
Speaking of making it hard on, I love that analogy, by the way. The league could have made it hard on Edmonton if they suspended Draisaitl for the elbow on Barkov. But we need to know from you whether you're okay with the league not taking any action on that.
Wilbon, Tony, it was an elbow. It was an elbow. I don't know if you guys have heard of elbow room in Fort Lauderdale. There's different rules depending on the location. Well, this is the Stanley Cup Final, and I guess there's different rules in the Stanley Cup Final. But, hey, guess what? He's on my radar. He's on the world's radar right now. And the league, let's give the league credit. They set the standard with the Panarin hit. They set the standard with Trouba. They set the standard with Sam Bennett. So, and you've seen Sam Bennett. After that hit on Marchand, we haven't heard his name. So, Leon Draisaitl, this guy's got a clean track record. He's never been suspended, never done anything dirty as far as I'm concerned. So he's got to understand he's going to have eyes on him now. He's got to be responsible. But, with me, the biggest thing is Barkov. Is he hurt or is he not? He's not hurt. This is the Stanley Cup Finals. This is hockey. It's not basketball. It's not tiddly sticks. It's not twiddle your thumbs. This is hockey, and it's the Stanley Cup Final. Play on. I love it. It's okay. But he's got eyes on him now. He's got to be careful.
All right, we will get you out of here on this, but the next time you're on the show, you better bring us some of those chocolate chip pancakes, because Wilbon and I want them. Here we go. If you were on the Oilers right now, ahead of tonight's game, you're in the room on the Oilers, what advice would you be giving your teammates?
Boys, it's time to put the women and children to bed and go hunting for dinner. It's hunting time. Take the first 2 games, throw them in the trash. Listen, you've worked your whole lives. Forget the season. You've worked your whole lives for this opportunity. All the trainers, all those early mornings with mom, all the sacrifices you guys have made when all your friends are partying in the summertime, you're dieting, no drinking, no social life. You've given all that up for this moment. Leave it all on the ice. Everybody's got to give a little bit more. You got to keep your emotions in check, because that'll cost you against this Florida Panthers team. But it's time to hunt. Go out and take this from them. It's not about sitting back and seeing what comes. You got 20,000 people in there. They're going to be screaming loud. This is the best building to play in the National Hockey League right now. And you heard it here. The Edmonton Oilers fans have showed up in a big way for this team. It's time for them to repay it, and repay it to themselves, too. This is your moment. Take advantage of it.
Thank you so much, PK, as always.
I go through a wall after hearing that from PK. Right through the wall. Right to the ice. Thanks, PK.
Well, I think I said something like that in our Stanley Cup Final, but we didn't get it done. So we'll see what happens tonight.
You can catch tonight's Game
guys.
3 on ABC at 8 p.m. Eastern. Let's take one last break. But still to come, Tom Brady and the Patriots appear to be back on the same page.
Cẩn thận, đừng dẫm lên cỏ trà hoa nhé. Đại cùng tiến hóa kinh tế. You have defeated an enemy. Double kill. Faced. Mình muốn nắm tay bạn mãi mãi. An enemy has been defeated.
It's not over.
Onslaught. Aced.
Chào mừng đến với Bình Nguyên Vô Tận. Cả đội xông lên.
Is this an order? Careful how you address me.
First blood.
Don't forget to brush!
An enemy has been defeated. You have defeated an enemy.
trembles!
You have been defeated. An enemy has been defeated.
Gavuna!
This is how you end.
An enemy has been defeated. An ally has been defeated. You have been defeated.
It's time for me to show.
Zambaning zochong navona.
You have defeated an enemy.
Is this an order? The ground trembles!
Double kill. You have been defeated. Your team has destroyed a tower. An ally has been defeated.
I don't care for a world that doesn't have her in it. Can you see my spear?
Oh yeah, that's it. That's it. Wait, what the crap? Blood!
Chào mừng đến với Bình Nguyên Vô Tận. Cả đội xông lên.
The Monkey King's my bro!
Here we go. Hey!
First blood. An enemy has been defeated.
Out of my way!
You have been defeated.
Who at the news?
An ally has been defeated. An ally has been defeated. Your tower has been destroyed. An enemy has been defeated. Double kill.
Scream. Annihilation!
An enemy has been defeated. You have defeated an enemy. Ace. Double kill. An ally has been defeated. Ultimate! Double kill! Bloodbath! An ally has been defeated. Double kill! Legendary!
Just warming up.
Legendary!
Smoke screen.
Your team has destroyed a tower.